kids! Welcome again to the Nolly and Trent Show. My name is Nolly, and this is my dear friend,
Biniam. Nice to have you guys here on the 26th episode of Molly and Friends. We today are talking, Molly, about...
Oh, I know. I wrote the notes right over here. Today, we are talking about vulnerability.
Want to try that word again, Molly? That was close, but it's a big word. Let's try it together. Vulnerability.
Oh, vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability. That is a big word. What does vulnerability mean?
Vulnerability, Molly, we'll talk about in just a couple of moments. It's a really important topic that I'm excited to share with our friends. It's a big word, but the meaning is actually kind of simple. But we'll get to that in a moment because first of all, we'd like to
do our feelings check-in.
That's right, Molly. Let's do our feelings check-in. And this is our way of practicing how to be honest and how to express our emotions, our feelings. And we want to learn how to keep track of that because when we learn more about ourselves, we're able to experience life in a different way where we're doing it on purpose. So Molly, how are you feeling today?
Today I'm not feeling very well.
Why aren't you feeling well today, Molly?
Well, it's so cold outside and I stayed home all day and I'm feeling really sad because I don't like the cold when it's this cold.
Oh, Molly, I totally know what you mean. I was out there today. It was super cold and I had to be outside in it and that wasn't fun.
I like being outside. I don't like being outside when it's so cold. And so that's what made me sad because I sat on the couch all day and I was bored and...
Oh, I see, Molly. That is a lot going on for you, eh?
Yeah. How are you feeling?
You know, Molly, today I was a little sad.
Why were you sad?
I was a little sad because I was telling someone who's very dear to me about some things that I was experiencing, and it was kind of scary. It was like things that I wasn't proud about, and I had these thoughts, and I shared them with this dear friend. And I was happy that they were listening very carefully, but it made me sad because I didn't want to have these thoughts, but I was sharing them.
Oh, I see. Sounds like you're being honest about your feelings.
I was being honest about my feelings, and I didn't feel like I was a good enough person in this person's life because I was comparing myself to others, and I was thinking, wow, other people are a lot better than I am.
Do you think like that?
Molly, I do sometimes. I often don't. I'm usually happy about the way I am, but this time I was comparing myself to some other people, and it didn't feel good, and I think that's what made me sad. And so I want to spend some more time wondering and thinking through why I thought that I was less than someone else, because I think I'm pretty amazing.
You're amazing. I like you just as you are.
Thank you, Molly. But sometimes I do feel that, and so I'm going to spend some time and reflect on that.
I hear you. Thank you for sharing. Kids, how are you feeling today? We would love to hear how you're feeling. So if you like, write it in the comments below. So, just to change the subject, can I tell our dad joke before we begin?
Okay, Molly. Go ahead and tell our dad joke. What's your dad joke for today?
Okay. Our dad joke today goes like this. Which knight of the round table is the beefiest?
Which knight of the round table is the beefiest? Sir Lancelot?
Nope. Sirloin. Sirloin? Get it? Sirloin.
Oh my goodness, Molly, I get it. Like sirloin is a steak and it's like beef. That was clever. I like that one.
Thank you. That's a good one. You guys can use that too if you like.
Thank you for sharing that, Molly. So do you remember how to say that word we were practicing earlier, Molly?
Oh yeah, I remember. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Molly, that's not the word we were saying.
I know. I was just joking. Let me try again. The word that we said before was ice cream.
No, it wasn't ice cream, Molly. Come on. You know the word.
I know. I was just being goofy again. Okay, are you ready? Here's the word.
Yes, Molly. Go ahead.
I just said it.
I didn't hear you, Molly.
I said it in my mind.
Oh my goodness, Molly. Can you say it with your mouth?
Okay.
I just saw your mouth move, but I didn't hear what you said.
I said it quietly.
Molly, could you say it so our friends and I can hear you?
Okay.
You're so silly today.
Okay, here. Are you guys listening?
I think they are. I'm listening too.
Okay. Vulnerability.
That's the word. Thank you, Molly. Vulnerability. Let's say it together, kids. Vulnerability. Vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Thank you. That's all. I'm wonderful. So what does this word mean?
I don't know. It's a big word.
Right. Okay. So vulnerability is when we let people see how we're truly feeling.
Really? Is that all?
That's all. It's a big word, but it means something very simple. It means showing what you're truly feeling or what you're truly thinking.
I see. Can you see what I'm thinking?
No, I can't see what you're thinking.
Okay. How about now?
Molly, I can't see what you're thinking because it's inside your head. I can only know what you're thinking if you tell me.
Oh, I see. Do you know what I was thinking?
What were you thinking, Molly?
My hair is prettier than yours.
I don't disagree. It's lovely hair.
I like my hair. Okay, back to our show. Vulnerability, and it means showing how you truly feel or how you think.
That's right, Molly. It's a very simple explanation, but do you know what?
No, because you haven't told me yet.
Right. This is actually a very difficult thing for so many people.
Really? I don't see what's so tough about it.
Well, it's tough for so many because it's a scary thing to tell people how you really feel or think. So, for example, do you know how we do our feelings check-in at the beginning of our podcast?
Yeah, I told you how I feel.
Yeah, so many people do not know how to do that because they're scared that if they tell how they're really feeling, especially if it's a feeling that's uncomfortable, they'll think that other people will think less of them and they'll be mean to them.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really tough world out there. So I know for me and for many people, when we were super young once upon a time, we expressed how we felt and what we thought very easily, but then somehow we were taught not to express it because it didn't seem like it was polite maybe to talk about what we really feel or think. And so we had to stop feeling and thinking those things, but we didn't stop feeling or thinking them. Do you know why?
No.
Well, we didn't stop thinking or feeling them but we just pushed it down inside and we didn't let anyone see that part of us because if we did, we felt that we were going to get in trouble. We might get made fun of. We might get hurt. We might get punished, a whole bunch of things. And we didn't like that alternative. And so we stopped being vulnerable. We stopped showing how we truly felt and how we truly think.
That sounds sad. I don't know if I feel like I can't talk about it because you always make it so easy for us to talk.
Well, you know the kind of friendship we have, Molly? It's the kind where there's a lot of trust, right? I trust you, and so I can tell you how I really feel, and I know you're not going to make fun of me. And I think you trust me.
I do, yeah.
And when you share with me how you feel or what you're thinking, I want to honor that, and I want to say, I hear you. And I want you to know that I'm going to support you.
I appreciate that. So you're saying that not everyone has that?
Oh, Molly, I'm sure many of our friends, for example, I don't know if you guys can share this experience, but I don't know how many of you guys would say you find it really difficult to actually express what you're feeling or thinking, right?
I see. So how are we supposed to show vulnerability?
Well, it's as simple as talking about how you feel, but because a lot of people are scared, the first thing to realize is it's a very courageous thing. It takes a brave heart to be able to show vulnerability, to say how you really feel or think. It takes a lot of brave energy. So here's how I would do it. I would think in my mind and I'll say, kind of like our feelings check-in, I'm feeling really happy that you and I are talking about this right now. Do you see what I just did there, Molly? I told you how I feel. I could have just said, hey, we're talking about this podcast about vulnerability, but that doesn't show you anything about how I feel. But what we did was I said some emotions with what was happening. So I said, we're having this podcast, but while we're doing this podcast, I feel happy about it. And I used some feelings words. All you have to do is use I and then whatever feeling you have and then whatever you're doing. So for example, let's say some of our friends, let's say some of you guys are doing your homework, and sometimes homework is not fun, right? And you might say something like, I'm doing homework, but that doesn't tell us how you're feeling, which is the vulnerable part, the showing the real part of yourself. However, if you included emotions, that would show that word,
Vulnerability.
that's right.
And then you would say something like, I feel adored when I'm doing my homework.
That's a great line for it. Yeah, see, now you're showing vulnerability by showing how you're truly feeling. And then you're using those words as well, too. And sometimes it might be helpful, instead of saying it, you could maybe try drawing how you're feeling. If you're still practicing how to say how you're feeling, try drawing or coloring perhaps. Maybe you can even do some dancing or acting to express how that feels. Now, we should also talk about when we should show vulnerability and when we shouldn't show vulnerability, because those are two different things.
Really? Don't you just do it whenever?
No, you shouldn't do it whenever. You have to be really careful. Here's when you should show vulnerability. You should show your real feelings or vulnerability to people who love and care for you. Can you imagine what happens, Molly, if you share how you truly feel with someone who does not like you and who wants to do mean things to you?
Oh, I see. In that setting, they might make fun of you.
Yeah, they might make fun of you.
They might tease you in a way that's not nice.
That's right, Molly, yeah. So only share with people who love and care for you, like your family members perhaps, or some dear close friends. So make sure you're showing vulnerability to people you trust. And then only share it when you feel safe. If you feel unsafe, it's probably not the best time to do it. Only share those feelings and emotions and thoughts that you have only when you feel comfortable. Don't do it when you feel uncomfortable, okay? And on top of that, do it with someone who you know is not going to make fun of you or hurt your feelings. That's a really important part. So be very careful who you share this part of your life with.
Okay. And then when should you not share with someone?
Oh, don't share your vulnerability with someone who makes you feel unsafe or uncomfortable. With those kind of people, stay far away. They're not safe people to share your emotions or your feelings with.
I see. Anything else?
Well, if you have private information, say you have some secrets about your family that, say like your dad is about to lose his job and they don't want you to tell that to your friends, that's maybe information that you shouldn't be vulnerable about with your friends if they've asked you not to share that private information. So if it's private things like, I don't know, what the doctor said to you or something else that's super private, maybe keep those for yourself instead.
I see.
And a really important part, friends, in practicing vulnerability, because it's not easy, is to practice it over and over. And as you practice it, do it in little bits at a time. So maybe like find someone in your life that you trust, a friend at school maybe, an adult that you trust, and just tell them a little bit at a time, saying, I feel lonely when I go home and I don't have anyone to play with. And see what they do with that kind of information. If they're trustworthy, they will keep that information to themselves and they'll try to support you through it. If they're untrustworthy, then you know you shouldn't share with them, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And do it in small steps, not big steps, but just small little things to help you learn to find the safe people in your life. So you can do it. It takes tremendous courage, but do it small at a time with people that you trust.
With people you trust.
Exactly, Molly. Molly, let's tell our final dad joke, shall we?
Okay. I got it. This is a really good one.
Okay, go ahead, Molly.
You know, I don't like flowers, but I've planted some flowers recently, and they grew on me.
You like it now, and it grew on you, like.
Yeah, and they also grew.
That's a good one too, Molly. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Friends, we're so glad that you can be part of their podcast. We like talking about things that hopefully help you. If you have any ideas of things that you'd like to hear us talk about, let us know in the comments.
See you soon.
Bye for now.